Hello and welcome back to the CFCTALK podcast. Amart's just in the middle of just transitioning into the podcast phase. Chelsea won, Manchester City 0. What a great win. I was going to say Champions League final, but FA Cup final. Not going to try and get ahead of myself and try and say we're going to win the Champions League, but we are. Alex, you've got an update on that thread. You've got a few other tweets to read out for us tonight.
Yeah, just one. My favourite one was So in 2012, in the final of the FA Cup, we came up against a team that began with L, and seeing as how Leicester have just beaten Southampton, and we're going to be playing Leicester in the FA Cup final. I think it's more of history repeating itself. We're playing another team beginning with L in the final. So yeah, we're winning the FA Cup. It's not even that we're winning it; it's already won, and the Champions League is on its way. We just have to get through. We just have to get through Zidane, and we just beat City. We can beat them in the Champions League final. We beat City just now, and yeah, we proved it. At the end of the day, just the result. We proved that we're not just going to get pushed over by City like we were earlier in the season. We're disciplined. We attacked when we needed to, and we saw the same Timo Werner to Ziyech goal that we saw like once already in the game when it got disallowed. And was it did we have two disallowed goals? We had two disallowed goals in the game.
Yeah, two.
But one of them was Timo Werner to Ziyech. But we've seen that quite a few times already this season. Timo Werner assisting Ziyech particularly, and Timo Werner using his pace, getting assists. Would have liked to see him get a goal, but we won the game. He got an assist. He had an impact on the game, so no complaints. And great result.
I think it's 11 assists for him this season now, excluding penalties that he's won and we've scored, which is a great sign. Amart, welcome. How are you doing? How was the game?
Yeah, man. Yesterday was fantastic. Yesterday's game was fantastic. The way we went about it, the way we approached the game, we didn't take too many risks. We controlled majority of the game, and at the end, it was a bit nervy. It's the ending because City were pressing, but we were able to soak up the pressure. And the thing was that with Tuchel's team, you are kind of confident even if you are leading 1-0. If you are leading 1-0, you're still confident. But the thing is that it's Chelsea. Anything can happen. So no matter who it is, it's still Chelsea, and the nerves are definitely going to come. But we needed that last goal to be able to ease the nerves. So when Pulisic's goal was disallowed, I was really sad about it. But we still held on and we won, and we're in the finals again.
As long as we're not playing Arsenal, well, hopefully we can win it. And as Alex said, 2012, 2021, it's the same thing. It's just jumbled up.
We haven't lost an FA Cup FA Cup final to anyone bar Arsenal in longer than I can remember, if I'm honest. I don't remember a time where we lost an FA Cup final to anyone not called Arsenal. Not even in the 2000s, no one, because we barely lost finals back then, other than the Champions League final in 2008. But virtually, they're not called Arsenal, so it's done. It's done.
Along with that, credit to Amart for this kind of stat. But we've played Leicester 7 times in the cup, and we've beaten them 7 times in the cup. So either expect Chelsea to turn up and score 3 goals in the first half, or concede 3 in the first half, with 2 own goals from Kepa. And Kepa, he started clean sheet. He was in my team. You guys predicted Mendy to start.
I nearly put Kepa. I nearly put Kepa in my team, but I was still doubting whether Tuchel would give him the chance against City, but he did. And putting such confidence in Kepa, I think will really, really boost his confidence himself, because if you trust him enough to put him in a game against City, even no matter what tournament is there, whether they're Carabao, FA Cup, Champions League, it still boosts the confidence of Kepa. And you guys see his haircut.
What do you mean haircut? He's always like that. He spent the whole season looking like he spent an hour playing it through a comb. So
this This one was different. He
gelled it back. He was ready for it.
He gelled it back. He spent an hour and 5 minutes combing it because it looks so heavily combed. It even puts mine. It makes mine look like I haven't put through a comb. Yeah.
He's probably getting some lessons from Giroud or something because Giroud also starts his hair sometimes like that.
Yeah, man exudes conference. No, not he doesn't exude conferences. He exudes confidence, and they barely did any. Excuse language. Fuck it, it's Kepa. They did none of that. They didn't do any of that. They couldn't even get any shots on target. I'm sorry. They had a couple. I think it was 3 attempts each or something like that. So, but no one. Kepa didn't really look troubled. I think the only time where we really had stress was on a couple of their corners where Diaz put a header over. But just calmed down the office, I think, for him. Other than, like I say, the corners were a bit stressy sometimes because Kepa just doesn't claim them. But it was fine. Clean sheet. He's got to start in the final.
Exactly. Now. As long as it's a clean sheet, as long as he's probably got a chance to start in the final as well now. Yeah. Kepa's going to be happy. It's a happy day on the pitch and off the pitch as well.
It needs to happen because at the end of the day, if we're going to have any chance of selling him or getting a loan, he needs to play. He needs to increase his value again. And performances like that, will do good for his value, and hopefully we can get him on loan because I do want him to succeed somewhere at least because he's come from such a bad place at the start of the season and last season that he deserves to. He's shown in his appearances that he wants to get back on track, and I hope he gets his loan because you can it's the next stage, I think, because I don't see us kind of changing him out for Mendy when now, no, it's gone.
Yeah, but to be honest, I like this kind of system that we are having with Kepa right now. Like the way Tuchel is balancing them out, and I think Lampard also doing something similar. But the way he's balancing them out, like using Mendy in certain games and using Tuchel in certain, using Kepa in certain games, it's good going forward. Like we know what to get from the two of them now. I think it's better than bringing somebody in a game to replace Kepa possibly, and then sending Kepa on loan, and then that person also having coming on with different issues. He has to now blend to the system. He has to now adapt to England or whatever. Because I know if you will get a new keeper, it wouldn't be from England, probably from outside England. There have been issues there. There have been rumors about the AC Milan goalkeeper coming to Chelsea, and I don't think he will be willing to play second fiddle. I think for Kepa will be okay playing second fiddle to Mendy. And so when Mendy isn't around, there's AFCON coming up next year, I think. So Kepa can always be there to replace him and play regularly again. So I don't know. If Mendy hurts or something, Kepa can be there. And I don't think it will only be during injury situations. Like I think with Tuchel given that trusting Kepa enough to be able to put him in a game against City, I think probably we'll see him more. We'll see him operate more next season. That's if he stays.
Go on, Alex.
I heard that I was Kepa going to AFCON, and it was just saying, when AFCON comes around, Kepa will be there, and it's yes, Kepa's going to AFCON.
No, I think he deserves a spot in the FA Cup. He's done pretty well throughout the FA Cup campaign, except was it the Barnsley goal that he conceded that we all kind of said something about. Yeah, so a few errors here and there, but he's deserved his spot.
But you guys remember I asked some time back that would you, if we get to the FA Cup final, would you play Kepa or play Mendy? I think both of you said you played Mendy.
I would play Kepa. Oh, wow! I'm so we're such hypocrites.
Wait, I think I said Kepa. I
think both of you said Mendy. Mendy. And I think we all agreed on Mendy might be the better.
It might have just been because I've probably seen Mendy not concede a single shot on goal for 10 games, and then I was yep, this guy is just a wall.
Yeah.
My next background on my next podcast will be I got exposed. Will be a little poster saying I got exposed by Ernest and Amarteifio on this date about Kepa not starting.
It's your fault. You didn't wait for me to finish before you.
Oh man, we've gotten so far into this podcast already, and we're only talking about Kepa. I'm sorry, he's in our heart.
Okay,
he's
then let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Exactly. Okay, Hakim Ziyech.
Let's move on.
Hakim Ziyech, someone who's drastically improved under Tuchel, who's been an important player, I would say, in the Champions League and the FA Cup. Maybe not so much in the Premier League. We haven't seen much of him there, but incredible performance against Man City. That goal, and then a chance a few minutes later was over 5 minutes later that he had to almost make it 2-0, and a great ball from Ben Chilwell. And I think this is a good tactic from Thomas Tuchel. What do you guys think? Just yeeting the ball from the defense all the way to the forward and just hoping that we score instead of going with the cross and score. We were going with the long pass and score against teams who struggle with pace in defensive areas, and especially the fact that we've got Ziyech and Pulisic who can run past defenders with Werner with him.
Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was.
That's all Alex had to say.
I don't want to interrupt Amart. Amart, continue.
We stopped, and Alex just go, "Yeah, it's nice."
I thought I stopped because I thought I was interrupting Amart. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, he went with that because he was hoping Werner will be running in behind the defense. You remember we said that we need fast-paced players against City's defenders because they are all fast, and I think that's what he also went for. Yeah, I don't think Ziyech is the fastest, but he can be fast, and proven by yesterday's runs that he made into the box, he has some pace on him. So I think Tuchel also thinking the same way, and also thinking that Werner will get in behind the defense often. So that's why we're giving long passes and trying to find Werner early. I think it got to a point he was even getting frustrated, but we tried a couple of times and he didn't get it. I think that's why we slowed it down and resorted to passes. But later on, he was getting onside more, and we're able to find him. And the goal was good. The goal was almost like a carbon copy of the one that was disallowed. But I think we got the goal, and I was very, very excited. And I was even happy with the way Ziyech ran past the defender and got there. And that was good. I mean, Diaz was worrying us a lot. Ruben Diaz was worrying us a lot, but on this occasion, he wasn't really a bother because Werner's speed was just amazing. So I think they did well. Yes,
but I was just going to make this point on, and this is also just going to make this whole 2020 and 2021 and 2012 and 2021 kind of spooky kind of thing. In the FA Cup, we had this exact same goal, almost similar goal. I don't know if you guys saw that tweet, but someone compared the two goals and it was almost exactly identical to each other. I don't think it was in the same round, but it was in the FA Cup campaign. So I just thought I'd bring it up since we're talking about CX run. So one more thing to confirm that we're winning the FA Cup and the Champions League.
I think I was done, but I was just praising Ziyech, that's all. But I think I was done. Ziyech had a very, very good game. So I don't know. There really isn't much fault with him because his passes were good, and he was. But I was surprised that he was the one usually in the penalty box instead of Werner. But I think it was a planned thing for Werner to operate on the left, and then him getting into the middle more. So they were playing close to each other. So I think it worked well, and it was brilliant. I think the whole formation, tactics, everything was brilliant. Everything was on point. The players did what they had to do, and then we got the win.
I was kind of thinking of 2-3 players who we could kind of highlight at the moment. Jorginho kind of popped up. He played incredible on the night. Ben Chilwell, the long balls that he was playing and the through passes that he played, and the switch that he made from defense. Azpilicueta, who apparently doesn't get enough credit for what he does, and a legend at Chelsea. So I think 3 players that deserve a lot more credit than they usually get after every game.
Agreed. Yeah, it's really tough to it's good that you worded it like that, because in terms of aligning a key performer is really difficult, because literally everyone put in a really fantastic performance. But yeah, in terms of underrated and people not getting enough credit recently, Jorginho, it was probably one of Jorginho's. I mean, to be fair, ever since West Brom, he's been putting in his best performances in a Chelsea shirt, I think. And he's just so much more to him than under Sarri, particularly. And he really did. He ran the show today and he kind of really helped us get through the City press with some really, really smart passes. So yeah, fantastic to see from him. And like, honestly, in the game, it could have been 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, because Man City barely, let's be honest, Man City, there were barely any like chances that you think, oh yeah, City, they should easily be scoring that, or anything really clear cut. Whereas for us, there was Ben Chilwell, fantastic today, fantastic in defence particularly as well. But there was the one where Reece James put in a cross and Chilwell had nobody within 5-10 yards of him, but he got a bit unlucky with the contact on the volley and put it wide. That could have been a goal. And also for Ziyech as well, there was one where he was put through and he could have just kind of rounded the keeper and put it in, but didn't. So we definitely had way more quality chances, I think, as well, which is something we really allowed the team for. And yeah, those three, Chilwell, Aspi for defensively. I mean, Sterling did nothing. I don't think the entire game, I don't really remember anything he did. And yeah, Aspi really boxed him, and Chilwell did the same. I do not remember any, like the first time I saw Ferran Torres on the TV screen was when he got subbed off. So I think that's all we really need to say about Ben Chilwell. And yeah, Jorginho as well. Fernandinho and Rodrigo look like mugs compared to Jorginho and Kante too. Kante was, I think people won't pick up Kante's performance too much, because I mean we kind of expect that from him nowadays. But it was great too. So great performance to everyone though.
Especially in the second half.
Oh, sorry, Amart, but what I was going to say, I was just going to add on to Alex and just say it was one of those performances where you kind of just go, oh, none of the players had a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10, but the whole team as a whole got a 7 or a 6, which resulted to a win. You wouldn't sit here and highlight a single player in this performance, because technically everyone just put in their efforts, and just in a collectiveness, we won the game. Usually in FA Cups, in semi-finals, in general competitions, you kind of have those players who do the job for you. Eden Hazard was one of them. Christian Pulisic was doing it last season in the FA Cup when he scored against Man United, and he was scoring goals in the Premier League. And I guess this Chelsea team has kind of transitioned into collectively working towards a win, whether it's by scoring many goals or just getting a goal and going through like we did against Man City.
Yeah, agreed. We did what we had to do at the end of the day. Once we got through, I think once Ziyech had that chance in the second half where he kind of didn't filter around the keeper, I think we just kind of said, oh, we're going to set up shop. We're just going to try and defend this lead, because you aren't really doing anything at the moment, and we might as well. I mean, that's what we're good at. We're really good at strangling teams once we go ahead, and they just can't really. I mean, we don't talk about West Brom, but other than that, in the second half, teams don't really do much against us. So, and yeah, I think once Emerson was subbed on left wing, it was over. Just they had no hope then. He was going to get him on the counter anyway, and he's I love him as a backup left wing now. He's great. But yeah, I think other things to say, the main talking point should be just Thomas Tuchel in general, and how his record against all the big teams is for Chelsea, or managing Chelsea, is pretty ridiculous, considering.
I think it's 100%.
Yeah, it is. We literally only lost against. Yeah, we
haven't lost.
We cleared a draw,
but we haven't lost any games.
Yeah. It's just Ole. We just have to beat Ole now, and then he'll be our. We'll love Tuchel forever. He just has to be Ole. No other way. No go around or anything. He has to be Ole somehow. And he won't be able to do it until next season, because we don't play them in anything until the end of the season, or in the season. So yeah,
Tuchel did say he'll chase Man City down next season. So he's not playing next season. He's going to beat everybody next season. Hopefully, he beats Ole too as well.
I think if Tuchel had this whole season, if we're playing the way we are, no way could any team defeat us. I think we would have been up there with City. Especially if you look at like the last 6 months, not the last 6 months, sorry, the last 4 months or 3 months that Tuchel's been here in the Premier League games that we've played, we've only lost one game, drew 3 or 4 out of this 8, 10 or 11, and won majority of our games. So that would put us at least really close to City. But then again, we're not Arsenal, and our Premier League doesn't start after Christmas.
Yeah, but the thing too is that, sorry, Alex, we wouldn't know that too for sure, that we would be at the top, because the thing is that he came in a difficult situation. So the situation that he came in, he's also tried to adapt and get results. Probably if he started in the beginning of the season, he might be more relaxed because he doesn't usually play at 3-back. But because of pressures for him to succeed, he's playing a 3-back system, and which has helped us a lot. So we don't really know whether he might succeed. He might have succeeded if he had started, but from the way things are going, we would have been in a better position probably than what we are now.
Okay, I'm going to cut this discussion short. I think that's the right amount of time for this game. Brighton next, Premier League. As we said last time, every Premier League game is important for us. But now we're kind of realizing is top 4 really important if we're going to win the Champions League? Or are we getting too far ahead of ourselves right now?
It's not important. It's the minimum, I think, in a way. Like we should be. We're Chelsea. We win trophies. We try to win trophies. So where I see it, we need the FA Cup, and we need to firstly do the business in the FA Cup, win that. But then again, I think the FA Cup final is after the semis. So I guess it's a tricky one. Top 4 is it's the lowest of the priorities, I think, but it's still important. It's still like, I think
within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, we play the FA Cup final, the last 2 Premier League games, and then the Champions League final. So that would be an interesting period for Chelsea.
Yeah, like it's definitely one thing I'm not really too worried about the top 4 race yet, because we're good in the big games and we have lots of them coming up. Like if you've seen our last 4 fixtures, I think we play City, we play Leicester, we play Aston Villa, and we play Arsenal. And no West Brom in sight, no Bournemouth in sight, only Brighton in the small teams. So we'll be all right. But and lots of other teams around us play other teams around us as well. So it's definitely in our hands, and but it is. I see it not as a backup option, but it's like it would just suck if, say, we lost. We say we get knocked out of the Champions League and we lose the FA Cup final to Leicester. If we then fail to get top 4, it would just mean the season is like a bit of a failure in a way, which is
something
a shame.
I'm very scared of.
Yeah. So it's like we need it as a fallback option, really, and in case we don't win the trophies that Chelsea really need. So it's like a backup. It's not something we're aiming for, but it's like a thing we need, just to kind of make sure that Tuchel doesn't get branded as like a failed 4 months or whatever. But I don't think. Sorry.
No, I was just going to add on and say I think you're absolutely right. Let's say we do go into the Champions League final and we do lose. It kind of turns out to be everyone's just going to start saying yes, Tuchel was managing, but then look at it from the other side and say we played the 2 least favored team, like we were on the side where we were the most favorable to be in the final, except Atletico, of course. And other than that, whenever we faced a strong team such as Bayern, or not Bayern, but PSG or Man City, whoever goes through, if we lose, then that's our season gone in the Champions League. And then again, Leicester City, 1 loss there, and that's the FA Cup gone. And we know Premier League, we're not going to win the Premier League. So that's the only thing that remains for us to do. So I think it's a very tricky situation for Tuchel. He might have won the last 20 games in all competitions when he's been at Chelsea, but it's the last 5 games of the season which really matter. And then again, of course, the Champions League semi-final to make sure the final matters.
Literally every Premier League game is huge. So
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like, why are you guys worried if we don't finish top four? Because you guys want this season to mirror 2012. And 2012 we finished sixth. So if you guys want
If you
us to
say
win the
so,
Champions,
fine. Fine.
We're leaving this on
if you
you
want
then.
us, if you want us to win the Champions League, and you want this
No.
because you are basing it off the fact that like this season is mirroring 2012, then the table should also mirror 2012, and then we fall sixth. But I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm a
But like,
believer of
yeah,
fact
I mean,
that I'm a believer of fact that miracles do happen twice, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to like play against PSG to fight for Champions League next season compared to fighting against Aston Villa or Leicester in the last two games in the Premier League.
We can do both.
yeah.
We can do both.
I
It's
mean,
all right.
definitely. Yeah, we can. I mean, like it's at this point we have to like challenge on all fronts, and that is what Tuchel is doing. So I think top four is also a priority, even though we might or we will get into the Champions League final and possibly win that and win the FA Cup as well. So it's still a priority, but I think the reason why I don't want to keep bringing him up, but like the reason why Lampard was axed was because of our performances in the Premier League. We were good in the FA Cup, we were good in the Champions League, but the Premier League is why he was axed. So with Tuchel in, his priority has to be the Premier League first. So if he gets us in a good position in the Premier League, and then definitely we have to also challenge on in the Champions League and in the FA Cup as well. So yeah, definitely it's going to be a priority. Top four is definitely a priority.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to be able to make amazing signings if we don't get top four. If we win the Champions League, fine. But yeah, it's to make the signings that we need to, i.e., to buy one of Lukaku or Haaland and maybe a central midfielder. We're going to need some serious dollars. I was about to say dollop for some reason, but that doesn't even mean money. I have no idea really why it said that. I'll bring my housemates for putting that word in my mind. But yeah, we're going to need serious money to do that. And yeah, it's what we need. So I think in terms of winning the league next season, it's something, going with the Champions League football next year is big. But
perfect
transition is big too.
Perfect transition into the next discussion, actually, Alex. Big money, we need that. The UEFA Super League is what the top 6 clubs in Europe are deciding to call it. Since UEFA has been talking about proposing a round of 32 in the Champions League, meaning more teams at the group stage, clubs have decided to take it into their own hands and kind of create their own competition. This includes clubs like Juventus, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, and Manchester United. Fans across football don't want it to happen. I don't think anyone wants it to happen. And I've just kind of really seen a bit of news that's come through on my Twitter feed. £450 million if you do agree to be in the competition. This just basically, for whoever's watching, means that the Champions League will be scrapped. There will no longer be any competition for top 4 or the top 2 in the Spain or top 3 in Spain, or depending on which league you follow. It'll just be a set number of teams, around 16 to 32 teams, which will play in the European Super Cup every year, and this won't change. So that means such as a club like Leicester City, if they do end up winning the Premier League or coming into the top 4, it wouldn't matter, because then they wouldn't be part of that, part of the Europe League. Guys, your thoughts on that? Is that ruining football?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely. Like, how can like a group of teams think that they are better than anybody than any other team else on the continent, and decide to create their own league and get their own money and charge whatever they want to charge on whatever, like on the tickets and then on the TV revenue as well. Like it's crazy. Like Gary Neville said, it's pure greed. Like it's I'm ashamed to know that like Chelsea was also part. Like it's crazy. I know the idea didn't start from Chelsea. It started from the Man United owners who are American, and It started from there. Like the whole idea started from America, and this thing's an American thing. It was like bring the best together and let them. It's like a playoffs sort of, but instead of the playoffs, like this, make it a competition, and so you guys will enjoy chunk of the money because you are the guys, you are the people who bring in majority of revenue. Like people watch the tournament for you guys; they don't watch it for the lesser team. So in a sense, it's like telling them that leave this and create this on your own and have everything, have the money, have the views, have everything, and just exclude the other ones. And it was crazy. Like the Premier League, the whole idea was that the Premier League was supposed to give them permission to go and do that. But if the Premier League doesn't give them permission, it means that you're going to leave the Premier League completely, which is insane to me because it doesn't make sense. Like you've been playing for the Premier League for so long and all of a sudden you just want to leave just because you can gain more money elsewhere. And what would that have meant for the fans as well? Because now you'll be charging more for tickets, right? So you'll be charging more for TV views and all that. So, I mean, it is bad for football to make the other leagues less competitive, and
I think
don't know, like it's just greedy.
This might be a bit of a far-fetched argument, but it just makes the whole English division, all the way from the 10th tier to the first tier, I mean, it becomes pointless. Realistically, if you're in the second tier of England, like if you're in the Championship, yes, you want to be promoted to the Premier League, but at the same time, you know on the back of your head that you won't be winning the Champions League anytime soon, or you won't be even contesting for the Champions League. But you kind of know, even if we do play 17th, 16th, we're going to get an extra bonus, and we're going to kind of work our way into being a top team. These teams, like, I guess this is where Chelsea are very fortunate, Man City are very fortunate, who've got owners who've got big pockets, and we kind of just got boosted up into that top four and a big six club. But some teams want to do it naturally, and that would just destroy the process. Yes, there's an excitement of winning the Premier League, but how many times do you want to do it? You know, we've won the Premier League as well, but we've won the Champions League. We've won everything in the last 10 years. Yet you see Chelsea fans craving for another Champions League and people even say it's a bigger competition than the Premier League. So realistically, the fun part in football is seeing a team like Porto defeat Juventus, a team like Ajax making it to the semi-finals, Tottenham and Ajax, you know, those kind of matches where you have a strong team against a weak and you see an upset happening. And if that's not going to happen in football, then you're going to see Arsenal and Tottenham lose every other week.
What's so bad about that?
I mean, it's gonna be too easy for us. Then we can't do any reviews. No predictions.
Talk will cease to exist. But yeah, I mean, it just the real thing that sickens me is that Chelsea get linked with it, especially after all the good stuff that Roman Abramovich has done, particularly over the pandemic. So I like to think that sometimes I like to just pretend that this kind of thing won't happen, or these talks don't happen, or whatever. Because at the end of the day, the harm is so much outweighs so much of any potential benefits to the clubs. Like in terms of what UEFA can do to stamp this thing out, there's a lot that they can do in terms of, I mean, not being able to play for your country and not being able to play in the leagues. I mean, yes, I've heard some ridiculous figures going around of how much money clubs are being paid to take part in this thing, but at the end of the day, I don't think they'd sacrifice that for league competition. I think that kind of just scraps football up in a way. So, yeah. But at the same time, yeah, like at the end of the day, the Premier League was its own like walk away thing in the early 1990s, wasn't it? I think, but this is on a much worse scale, and there's no the whole accessibility stuff, and just some of the things going around about relying on performance over multiple years, not like basically preventing, say, Leicester from competing in the Champions League in the year after they won the Premier League. It's just ridiculous, and I don't think it's going to happen. If I'm honest, I think that the punishment that clubs and players will receive from playing this is just not worth the extra money. So from a logical point of view, but as well as a sporting point of view, it just scraps everything up. So I don't see it happening.
I think the one sport I can compare this to is kind of cricket. I think it's some of the cricket governing bodies, and I'm not going to mention any, but have just kind of made it so lucrative that it doesn't expand. It's the same 5 or 6 nations that play cricket. And if this happens, then it's going to be the same with football. You're going to have the same 10 to 20 clubs in Europe that'll get the big money deals, and everyone else will be left behind with those smaller figures, and nothing's going to change. Everything's going to stay the same. You'll see the same 10, 15 teams play. But yeah, anything you guys want to add on to that? Or?
Yeah, but I mean, like with the Champions League, there's already a proposal to expand the Champions League and make it more accessible to other teams as well. I think that is a good way to go. So with that, you can get more players into the more teams into the Champions League, or teams that usually don't get into the Champions League and get them into the Champions League, and you give more slots to other leagues as well.
Super League would just kill off the Champions League, because that would be the opposite of what UEFA want to do.
I think that's going to actually happen. So that was the proposed plan by clubs. So if they do create the Super League, then that means they would boycott the Champions League in a sense, because that would mean that they become part of a lucrative competition which has the same 16 teams. And instead of playing teams such as, let's say, Slavia Prague or Krasnodar in the group stage, you would play against teams like Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich, and Real Madrid. Technically, every single game being a big game, but again, it's the same teams every year.
Yeah, that makes sense. Then, like, it would also decrease. It would make the Champions League like pointless. Then, if all the big guys, all the big clubs all decide to leave. So yeah, I just don't think it'll happen at the end of the day.
I think there's more likely. There's a higher chance of a round of 32 taking place in the Champions League than a new competition being created on its own. Because I think UEFA has been planning to do an increase in the amount of teams, and I think FIFA as well. We're going to do that in the World Cup. The first one I think is the 2028, the 2026, one of those. That they were planning or proposing to increase the number of teams in the World Cup. So that will be interesting to see as well. Anything you guys want to add on to this?
Not really.
Yeah. I guess that's all we've got for tonight's episode, guys. Chelsea through to the not the semi-final, to the final of the FA Cup. We play Leicester on the 15th of May, and then we've got the semi-final coming up. Hopefully, is it the week after the next? It's the next week, not this one. When we play Real Madrid on the 27th, and we play on the 4th of May, right after 2 of my exams, which is the perfect way to kind of relax, or either break my monitor, one or the other. We'll see what's going to happen. But yeah, interesting times ahead for Chelsea. Make sure to tune into all of our podcasts as well as all of our articles on our website, which we will be posting regularly on our social media pages. So make sure to follow them as well. If you guys are new around here, make sure to subscribe and leave a like, rating, and add it to your playlist. It does mean a lot when you guys show your support. And it really encourages us to continue to work hard in making these podcasts. It's about 1 a.m. for me. And pretty late for Alex and Amart as well. So it takes a lot to kind of get up and then do these podcasts, edit and upload them within the same day of them being recorded. So that's all from us tonight. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.